There's a caller. Oh, it's one of our regular guests. He became a caller tonight. Good night, Mr. Lewis. I'm going to tell the people who you are. Good night.
You telling the people who I am?
Yes.
Have mercy, have mercy.
Yes, sir.
I sent you a video today with all the moss down in Bashi Rock, you know. So I'm
Yes.
just wondering if I can go to the show to get the machine. I think we bought a machine. Barbados bought a machine to collect the moss each. So I want to reach out to the show and see if you can do anything for me to help us to get that machine up Bashi so we can get that.
1 second, Dave. Show the moss. Show the seaweed on here. But Dave is showing you. But do you remember, Mr. Lewis? If I may, let me just engage you for a little bit. But it's a serious request. So we're using the show to find out where is the missing machine. There are machines that we bought with taxpayer money that's missing. And we want to know, where is this machine, please? We're using the show to ask Kirk, Humphrey, and all of you all, where's the machine? But listen, do you remember, and to everybody who is on, Adrian, I wonder if you remember this. Do you remember when in 2018, when the BLP was in opposition, and when the seaweed started to enter Barbados?
Everybody forgot that.
Not me, because the Prime Minister said.
Yes.
Did you hear what she said? She
Don't Barclays part. I would never forget that. I have that curiosity.
Tell me what she said. What did she say?
Nobody didn't ask you not about the seaweed, but part of her message to destroy the Democratic Labour Party, she blamed the Democratic Labour Party for the seaweed.
She blamed the Democratic Labour Party.
All of it. I'll never forget that.
I will never either. That woman blame the Democratic Labour Party for the seaweed.
Yes, she did.
And not only that, she said give her a couple of days when she gets in and what she's gonna do. And I remember she made a promise, Barbados. Don't forget, she made a promise that she was gonna clean it up. Go and look in the newspapers; it's there. And she bring out the whole of BDF.
Yes.
Caller, and I'm forgetting it, but I have to. You listen to this too. She bring out the whole of the BDF. You remember? She let the Barbados Defense Force come out cleaning up seaweed because she was getting rid of it, and she was down there in her hard hat. That
was a classic Trumpian moment.
She went down there in her hard hat
she just
and
opened
everything,
her mouth
and she was going to clean up the seaweed. And look at it.
Yep.
Look at the seaweed.
But that's a lot of seaweed, though.
You remember that, caller? Caller, do you remember?
Of course I do, you know, and I am hoping now, you know, because in Bathsheba now we're in a whole lot of trouble. And don't talk about the East Coast Road. You know, don't talk about the East Coast at all.
That's a lot
of Bathsheba, this is where our iconic rock is. And all the moss, you know, a whole lot. I sent Dave, I sent you the, you know, rather than showing a still, if you can play the video, Dave, would be nice.
Dave?
You know, because we're in a state now in Bathsheba, and this country, we invested, I would assume, thousands of dollars, maybe millions, in a machine. And the last thing I heard of that machine, I saw it somewhere, concept there. And I think that Kemar spoke about it at the time. And they said the machine was somewhere in a workshop getting repairs or something or the other. But I want to know where this machine is because we need it in Bathsheba. Like yesterday, we need it.
Yeah, Dave, check your WhatsApp. Dave, check your WhatsApp. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Yeah. You know, so I mean, I sent the video there because lots of folks may not be aware, you know, but you know, we invested in that machine and I'm hoping now that we can see the actual usage of it here in Bathsheba, and I'm going to be looking out for it. You know.
Yeah.
So,
that's a lot of seaweed there, but one that was full. The Bagatelle dump. You know the place, the Bagatelle quarry. because I think that's a whole area that really needs to be raised again. They need to find things to put in there. I think that's where they should dump the seaweed. It looks like a lot, man. That's crazy. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Mar,
thank you,
Mar,
caller. Thank you for raising it. I had it on the agenda,
Mar,
but I thought that we couldn't have
yeah.
discussed it. But the video is here, guys. Let's look at the
Marcia,
video.
if your indulgence there, just
Give it a few seconds. Thank you, caller.
wow, wow. Well, so I think we're gonna have to start. They're gonna have to start posting seaweed warnings so that people will know where they can go to bathe because
Yeah.
yeah,
But who
if
we
there's
gonna
any place
blame?
to go.
We're gonna blame the DL. We're still blaming the DLP for the seaweed.
But of course, you know, you can't blame the current government. Of course not. They're blameless. They take all
No,
praise
no.
and no blame.
According to CBC, my guy can't put the spotlight on the seaweed. Because they're gonna ban his song. The spotlight can't go on the seaweed.
Yeah.
You understand? Listen, I get my voice back here.
Yeah.
Tonight, I'm
So
too happy.
Marcia,
Marcia, I just want to shout out four people that made comments. Springtime talked about a prophet is not without honor, save in his own country. With
Yes.
regards to Mr. Stewart, I agree with that. Relentless said that Mr. Stewart is captivating when he speaks. I agree with that. Angel Humble, she had some views about that individual whose names I don't even call. You know who I'm talking about. So much so that I don't even call the young doctor that has made his debut on the DLP by his last name,
Hello,
Dr.
good night.
Elvis.
Yes.
I
Good
call him
night.
Dr.
Just give us
Elvis.
a minute, a second. Yes.
And Tanisha Ford, who said that Marcia, you're sharing the spotlight on the government. And I want to just shout out her that yes, that's what we are doing.
Yeah. Spotlight tonight. Spotlight. We need to have a series called Spotlight. Um go ahead, caller. Let's shine the spotlight. Turn down your device, please.
Hello,
Your device is on.
hello, good night. Just
I can
hold
hear
on.
her.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, she says so. Hold on.
Oh.
I'm trying to talk. I'm trying to talk. Hold on.
Hmm.
Hello, good night.
Yes, good night. Good night.
I'm a pensioner.
Oh,
I worked in the government service for over 20 something years. And I sent in my pension form 6.5 months before I was ready to get pension.
yes, ma'am.
My birth fell after the 1st of April. I went to NIS and I was told that the first batch will run on the 7th of April and my birthday fall after that and I will not get any pension. That's the first thing they told me. All right, ma'am? I didn't hear anything. I went back again, second time. When I went, I told them that I have a serious problem. I have bills I have to pay on time, and that I need my money. Before you leave, they want to have an answer. The man asked me inside NS if I think I'm the only person that is getting a pension. I was totally shocked because I worked there 10 years before I was transferred there to another department. All right, somebody called me, said they would call me back. Then they called me back, and I asked them, what situation? They said they forgot to tell me that that they were told not to pay pensions. That's what they told me. So they give me a runaround. They know that they can't do anything in the system, and they give me a runaround, up, down, and above around. What the next step we should take?
Caller, are you ambulatory? Are you
Hello?
able to walk? Are you ambulatory? Are you able to walk? And
Yes, I am.
all right. No, I just, and I'm not telling you what to do, but I just recall a lady named Janice Harris back in 2019. She staged a solo demonstration in front of the House of Parliament after her government pension was drastically reduced. She was still getting a pension, but it was reduced. And she saw it fit not to ask anybody anything, but to go and demonstrate. You ain't getting paid. You ain't getting paid. I think you have a good case to go and let your voice be heard and be seen. Is that something you're willing to do?
You see who she is? You see who she is?
What? Pardon?
Hello?
Yeah, a Barbadian lady named Janice Harris. She was a maid, retired and had a pension, and it got reduced back in 2019. You don't remember her? And she walked
I
up and
remember.
down Broad Street in front
I
Parliament
remember
with
her.
a card. Yes, and she got
I
redress. I
remember
don't
her.
know if she got redress. You know, it was
Um,
embarrassing to the government that they had to take her on.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I'm recommending, if you're up to it, that you must make your voice be known. I mean, you may not be a vociferous, you may not be a Janice Harris in terms of you may still have some fear. You might be a quiet, introverted type of person, but you got to talk to somebody in government and let them know that this is happening. You agree? Or you don't?
Caller, are you there? Can you hear?
I'm still there.
Yes, yes. Oh, did you
Yeah.
hear, Mr. Hines?
He said I could speak to someone named Janice Harris.
No,
I
okay.
was.
I'll talk to you after. I don't think she's hearing very clearly.
Okay.
I'm not
Let-
hearing clearly.
Okay, let's hear Mrs. Strickland. I'll keep her number and have a talk with her. Go ahead, Mrs. Strickland,
Mhm.
and I'll also pass the number to you.
Marcia,
Can you hear
this
Mrs.
lady,
Strickland?
yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
yes,
Let me
please.
talk.
Yeah.
Okay, this lady, I don't think ever tuned in to the Marcia Week show before. She called me this morning. Okay,
Mm,
this very lady called me this morning, and I told her because she was the person I was speaking about earlier. She
mm,
called me this morning, and I asked her to come on the show, and I'm glad that she got the opportunity to come on the show
mhm.
and speak for herself, so that you heard the emotions about it. I remember distinctly what Mr. Adrian just said when Janice, even though because in 2010, the Democratic Labour Party reduced persons who were getting an invalidity pension and a national insurance pension who entered the service after the 1st of September 1975 to
Mhm.
one pension, which was
Yeah.
correct. When she demonstrated, the Prime Minister forced the Treasury to reinstate her her pension from the Treasury. And to
Mm,
this day, as I speak, those persons, and they were coming after the 1st of September 1975, are
mhm.
receiving two pensions, while other individuals are only receiving one. So the Prime Minister forced the Treasury to pay those individuals, but as soon as they reach 67, the one for the Treasury is going to drop. So I'm glad that Adrian remembers. They say Beijing have short memories, not all of us. Not all of us. And I knew Janice personally. You want to say I'm saying? Because she was one of those persons who would be up and down Swan Street preaching and so forth too. That's the type of personality that Janice, is. You want to say I'm saying? And I'm saying that there are those who will come on this show and they will speak very beautifully. They will tune in. But when the rubber needs to meet the road, many of them will not come
That's
out.
sad.
They will not come out. For
Janice.
various reasons.
Well,
For
we need to
various reasons.
commend this. Let's commend this caller that she
Yeah,
is.
this is a first
commend
start,
her.
and
This is
we
a
need to
good
encourage
start,
her.
caller, and
Yeah.
what you're doing, and what we're going to do, we're going to cut out this piece and send it around, okay?
Yeah.
And
Yes, I want to do that.
and trust me, and
Have a
we're going to march on this. We're going to do a march on it, because
Yes.
if there's no response, we're going to hit the streets, caller.
have her reach out to Janice, because Janice attributes her
I'm telling
action to
you,
divine.
I hate the streets again, it do.
Yes, could you repeat, ma'am?
I said, if want to hit the streets again, it do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this is not fair.
Yeah.
He would tell you, he knows me personally.
Mhm.
I work off my butt at NAS. And this is not good. It's not good.
Yep.
Mm.
Too many people have that. It's just
I-
so
people think it's
disrespectful. The
joke,
people
yeah.
that build this country,
You haven't got
people
the money
that
to
build
buy
this
things.
country got to be
I-
begging.
Now, hold a minute, Adrian. She's telling us her situation. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'm telling you straight, man.
Mm.
I have a grass that has a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I have to help out with certain things along with my daughter to assist. I'm dependent on my money to pay certain things. I can't see my money.
Mm.
It isn't good enough.
Yeah. Yes. Because
I told somebody I did not leave NAS till I get response. Anybody put me there to sit down? I actually cried in the office, sit down with there though. I actually cried up there. I can't believe this happening. I can't believe it.
Okay, we
I can't
hear
believe that they're
you.
doing this to people.
Yes, we hear you, and we're going to. Mr. Strickland is going to keep in touch with you,
Yeah,
and
let him keep in touch with me.
yes,
Cause I call him on a number, and if he wants my cell phone number, I could give him it too.
yes,
I could give him.
yes. We're going to make a big thing about this. Okay.
Yes, I want to go. Somebody got to do something.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling tonight. This is the
Yes,
first
and
step.
thanks very much
Really,
too for hearing me.
Yes. Thank you.
really
Thank you.
Bye
sad.
bye.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Janice Harris attributes her action to divine inspiration, describing herself as a prophetess led by the Holy Spirit to speak out for the vulnerable in Barbados. So I would
Wow.
say if she's up to it, because I know she's an elderly lady, that if she's up to it, we should reach out to her and see if she's willing to lend her support in
Yes.
whatever way she can to these individuals as well,
Yes.
because she got redress. So hopefully with her voice, others might likely get the same. It's just
Yes.
sad that we have this going on to
Pretty
older
sad.
people.
This is,
Yeah.
but we were up in arms, Miss McLean, over the young man that beat up the elderly
Amen.
and took away his money. But look at what the government is doing to elderly people. What are your thoughts on this caller and a real practical situation where the government has just not given her pension and they don't have anything to tell her?
But I mean, yes, I mean that's serious. But I also would link it with what Stephen raised earlier in relation to a decision not to pay pensions when you shift from the Treasury to national insurance.
Yeah.
Most pensioners in the public service are living paycheck, pension check to pension check. So what are people supposed to do? You know, the average worker in Barbados is 2 or 3 months away from poverty when they're getting full salary. So when you live on a pension, you're living at most on 2/3 of your last salary at maximum. I think that's typical or less.
Yeah,
Or
I have
less.
a call. I have a caller. Finish your thought, Miss McLean.
You
and
know,
then I
so my point is, how can you be so callous if you have introduced a measure and you did not sit down to discuss with the department how you will operationalize it? You're going to then make a decision to hurt people. You're not even saying, okay, find some way that you can deal with it manually and have it in a temporary file or something that you put in the system later. You just say you don't get money, and people are wasting money all around us, you know, in all kinds of harebrained schemes and all kinds of unnecessary things. That's madness.
yeah.
Sad.
Let's hear from the caller, and this is one of our panelists who is calling us now, Mrs. Corbin. Good night, Mrs. Corbin.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, Rose.
As usual, a very interesting session. We're learning quite a bit as usual. I am responding in part to the discussion about the end of the DLP and that Mr. Stewart should not have be speaking. When I read in the news that when the Prime Minister was asked about his comments, she again was dismissive of sort. I would have been commenting on Facebook on, for responding to some of the disparaging things that were said about Mr. Stewart. I'm not necessarily speaking about Mr. Stewart, but I'm speaking about this case to to just see the DLP or any form of opposition silenced or buried,
Yes.
because that's what the intent seems to be. While on the other hand, if I had heard correctly, and I did, when listening to the meeting, folks on that party they had, the last lap party.
Yes.
But I thought it was the last lap, but then we had another lap the Friday night, another big party over the weekend after the results. But I parked that one. And I heard Senator Ambassador all the titles that Madam Liz Thompson had. And in her delivery, she spoke about creating a legend in the form of the Prime Minister, that the Prime Minister is a legend globally, and a legend is being created. I'm just summarizing. And while they are creating a legend, they are intent on destroying any other factual and historical development or persons who would have led or contributed to the development of Barbados post 2018, pre 2018. Everything seems to have begun in 2018 up until now. Well, Marcia, I usually keep my ear on the ground. I will speak to things related to education. They talk of the lost decade, 2008 to 2018. Let me speak about what happened in education. In that period, Ronald Jones, and I've said it repeatedly, and when I had to make a rebuttal of sort to that crazy talk coming from Rommel Springer, when he said that the DFT should say, I have nothing ever to say about education in Barbados. I will point now to the former Minister Ronald Jones, who in a short time, quite determined, like how Erskine Sandiford was determined to set up QEH, like how Errol Barrow was determined to forego, get rid of that second part common entrance exam, and hence the Shorey Commission, and that quickly was abolished. Ronald Jones came on without any fanfare, and he created in the last decade several sixth form schools. They talk about the school fees taken away from university, but look what we could see happening. Under Ronald Jones's tenure, we have the Springers Memorial School, the St. Michael's School Foundation, Ellerslie, Alexandra, even one at St. Leonard's Boys School, Aline and some other one. But these sixth form schools came up without any fanfare, without any big launch like the transformation, education, launch and town hall meeting. He said there was a need for it, and in the last decade, he established that.
Yeah.
And they have been working well, and foundation went on to get one or two exhibitions, and similarly St. Michael. And I am expecting more of these sixth forms to excel in the times ahead. And one of the matter, Marcia and panelists, that Black Mongolia school, primary school, this Paper Grove, was built in 2011, was opened in 2011. And that same Blackmon Golf School was commissioned as an isolation facility during COVID.
Yes.
And therefore, we must keep in the minds of the people that Barbados existed. Things were done before we had the pundits and the commentators who are all biased, before we had the analysts who are no longer scholarly, in my opinion. All these people who are purporting and supporting this narrative that nothing happened in the lost decade, and all the honor, the glory, and all the accolades and all the developments and the best performances are due to the BLP and to the Prime Minister, who Liz Thompson says that it's a legend and they are creating
Yes.
a legend
Yes. Yes.
out of her.
Yes.
So I'm just calling in to make that my
Very. And
contribution.
listen, that sounds
And
like.
again, thank you, panelists. Thank
Yes.
you, Marcia.
Thank you. Very well said. I think Rose have a segment there, which she's done it a couple times, but it would be good to review it. I think we can see a segment coming out of that as well. And we know on this show we're going to continue to do to talk about the last decade. That's something that we're going to break it down, and we are doing already. So that is coming up. But you know what? Time is gone, and I know the people are still locked on. They are still. Just a while ago, I went back up to 1300, and it was after 10 o'clock. The people not moving, Miss McLean. But listen, if I bring up this, they will stay on again. One last thing I have to say, and we're going to continue. All these things we're just touching, Miss McLean. But listen to me. I want to say to the authority, free Ninja Man. Free Ninja Man and start the charade that is happening in the law courts. And could you please bring back Errol Barrow, find Errol Barrow jacket and sing, I'm a laughing. Bring it back.
Have they charged him? He's still on remand? Or
yes,
what have they done?
They refused to give Ninja Man a bail. They have not found Errol Barrow's jacket and his shoes.
So he's languishing in jail on remand. He's not being charged. Wow. You have a guy that spent years.
We're going to march on Ninja Man, We're going to march on Ninja Man.
There was another guy that spent years on remand. I think they had to pay him some money too. Oh my God.
My God. Go ahead. Mr. was saying something. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that if Ninja Man, when I think of that jacket and Ninja Man, he would have worn it in town.
Oh my God.
Yes.
He would have worn it in town.
He would not have hidden it. Yeah. Everybody would have seen it, I believe.
That is a whole I really would like to hear the evidence given in court. That's what I would say.
Well, is the lawyer saying that there's no evidence?
But this what I'm saying. I would like them to hear the evidence.
Why is he locked up?
Let us hear the basis on which they have him and what is the evidence.
Is this how we treat the most vulnerable Barbadians? Wow.
Well, these are the contradictions, and people seem to, these things seem to be okay.
Yeah. So we have a mentally challenged Barbadian locked up on remand and no knowing of when his case is going to be called. Right?
Well, I saw
and we are out there saying that Barbados is a bastion of democracy.
Really?
That we have a prime minister that is suited to be the next UN Secretary General. Really, under her watch, this is happening. And don't tell me that the executive can't go into the judicial. We know how Westminster is put together in Barbados. We know how it is put together. We know about the tentacles in that office and what you can do. We know that you have made mention to the Auditor General. We know that you've made mention to the DPP.
You can ask
a question.
Adrian.
Exactly. You can ask a question about this vulnerable Barbadian, and how he's treated to. and how it is a black eye on Barbados once it gets out there. Nobody can tell me to shut up. I love my country dearly, and that's why I continue to criticize it in perpetuity. And that's what I will do, because this is wrong. Somebody needs to do something. Sad.
Yeah.
I know where I come from. I feel this. I know where I come from, and I know how my fellow Barbadians would have treated to me and my family when I was growing up. I never forget it. Don't forget it. And while I'm not a ninja man, I know that I've experienced things that cause me to pause and wonder why. Yeah, it's just sad.
You see, the same CBC that they're using to take away our freedom of speech. Huh? Somebody here now telling me, a CBC worker, that the workers have not received any money from May. And these are the same people that are squandering money. Take how many people to Dubai? What, 87 people to Dubai? Charter a whole flight to Ghana. Wasting money. You think the DLP could be doing this and getting away with it?
Wow.
They could not. See, the CBC, they're just telling me here. They're just telling me here that they haven't gotten any pay. That's why some of you workers, you need to stand up when they're doing these things to people.
Sad. They can come for
the
you.
Last caller, go ahead.
They can come for all of us. I don't think that we're safe.
I am telling you, that's the thing that people think, it's only those people. You see? Go ahead, caller. Last caller, we're done. The people don't want to come up. Miss McLean is up. Go ahead, caller.
Good night. So sorry to call in so late. I honestly did not want to call in. But my heart here is so heavy. Heavy, yes, with the things we discussed tonight. And I don't.
Caller, you dropped out.
No, I know you all will not sleep tonight. But it was burning me.
What is it?
And, right, I'm going to say, how many people online, I know some don't live here in Barbados, will go into town and see the amount of young people from the top of Bax's Road come through the bridge and come through Swan Street that are smoking, that are sitting down on a block. When I say a block, I mean a block that you build a house with. You're sitting down on a board.
Yes.
How many, we could put it in the chat, how many dozens of young people, young guys, you see every single day from the top of Baxter's Road right down with nothing to do. They can't be going to work and getting there by 12 o'clock. Or they can't be leaving at 12 o'clock and getting back there by 3 o'clock. And they're all smoking. The block, it has become so bad that they're moving across the other side now by the police station. So when you get the transportation, you're bumping into them. Let me go to another issue that burning me. How many travel on a Zedar or minibus lately? See how the driver drinking.
Wow.
See how that's dress. And how they would jump out, shout at one another, cuss one another, get back in. The minibus culture. How many of you have seen that lately? And these kind of school children. Let me tackle the school children now. How many of you lately have seen how our school children are dressing? The hair long. The boys got, what you call it, afro corn stick in the hair. They're wearing school slippers. Some of the shirts out. And this is something, and they want to vote back in this government. I'm not saying that is the D or the B fault. But I'm talking about all these issues. And the only thing I see trickling down, it can't be the economy trickling down bounty. I see a culture that this administration has trickled down. Look at this. Look at the young girls on the block smoking. Have you ever been to the bus terminal? You gotta put on a mask.
Wow.
When you touch the bus terminal, every single worker, well, not the transport board per se, but the other section is at our section. Every one of them got a cigarette up in the mouth. I'm standing up by a window where you sitting down. I don't want to keep back for you to finish off the show. I got in as the other day going from Spikestown, from Bridgetown to Spikestown. And this guy got in Black Rock. The guy got in with, I don't know with a scarlet, with the cigarette thing in his mouth. Sitting down in his van, right next to passengers doing that. That was the first time I ever seen that. So you could imagine that it can become a culture soon from now. And if you want to say something, it started to hurt my head. But if you want to say something, you know, it can be a lot of sweet words coming out. And this is the culture that is taking over Barbados. And people can sit down here and tell me in a matter of B or D. It's a matter of voting and being right. Especially I got a burning that Christians sitting down and saying, well, I just pray. So I pray at night. Jesus was the biggest politician, don't tell me. Jesus went up there and feed the poor, talk to the people. He was the biggest representative for the people. I ain't hear Jesus saying he praying. Yes, he prayed in between, but he went up there and did it.
Yes.
He went up and did something.
So
the prostitutes came to him. Everybody came to him for what? Deliverance. And he had to do action. He talked to them, he educated them, and then he did what he had to do.
Yes.
He has and talk to God about it. We got to do something, people. We got to do something. By the way, they St. James North.
I know. And listen, can I tell this is a lady, Adrian, and I'm going to owe it to you, sir. This lady had not voted Miss McLean in 20 years.
Wow.
And she was watching the show and she wrote me and she said, I said, are you going? I said, are you going to vote? She said, no, and since I didn't go to vote since David Thompson, I said, no, man, you need to go out. And she actually went out and voted. Yeah. And I want to say kudos to Adrian, because you were on that night. And she's the one, and you hear her coming on, being an evangelist, telling people, Christians, get up and do something. But Adrian, you were saying something to her. Adrian,
yeah. So you see, this is how things are connected, right? The block filled with young men, right? How did I get so? Go and Google it. Adrian Medic Ford, or whatever his name, wrote an article in The Nation talking about 70% annual unemployment among school leavers. Where are those people going? Annually, every year, 70% of school leavers can't find a what? True. That happening every year, so it compounded. Where these people are, that lady just told you.
I know.
The block getting bigger and bigger. Now, why is that? Why is that? We live in a deliberately captive market where there's this belief that only those at the top shall make money, and that when they are good, the rest will trickle down to us. That is what Stuart was against when he talked about the remnants of the planter class. That's what Stuart meant when he said access to Bay Street is now closed. This is the reason why economic franchisement of Black people is being stymied. It is reflected in the numbers on the blocks. It is reflected in the numbers of school children who can't find even a part-time job when they leave school. True. Right? All to make sure that generation after generation, the same names of the people at the top, through their sons and their grandchildren, are still known to be the richest people in Barbados.
Yes, the caller wants to say something. 1 second, Adrian. I know you can't hear. Go ahead, caller.
Right. I was totally agreeing with him. And I also want to say that was from Arab. That is why when Mr. Torrance said what he said, she's like her grandfather, I jumped and said, exactly, you know, get there. So she's bringing back that culture. Arab tried to give us better. And it went down, straight down. Well, David Thompson never got a chance. It came right down to Fundell Stewart. But She want pedigree.
Mhm.
So pedigree matters to them.
Yeah.
And that is why when Mr. Torrance said he can lick that back out, she's not bringing us to this point again.
Yep.
We got to stand up. People, please understand. All the talk is good. I was there. I sit back for 20 years. But stop the talk. Stop
Yep.
the talk and do something. Do something.
Yes. Yes. Thank you,
We
caller.
have to do something.
And caller,
Thank you.
I'm going to call you, and we need to look at this on Friday. I think that we need to get into this on Friday. Thank you so much,
No problem.
caller. Yeah.